So I went to college at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And it was freshman year where I went to a party. I mean, freshman year was super lit. I love college. I love finally getting to have the freedom to communicate with people in ways that I couldn't, because my whole life I was a slave to the school system, and I was a slave to my mom, and I was a slave to the Masonic matrix that said I, as a black person, can't walk outside. My mom, like, of course, when everyone who's in a black family knows and understands how you don't have the freedom to move or really be as mobile as you would like to in certain environments, right? If you're like an affluent black person in a nice environment, yeah, you can. But there's still the whole thing of like driving while black, and at this point, walking while black, or talking while black, or sitting while black, or breathing while black. You know, so it was freshman year where it was awesome that I got to finally have the freedom to go to Chicago, coming out of Cincinnati, and go to a school where I got to interact with hella awesome people. Like SCIC was like a very dope environment. They're a very dope artistic environment. Um, and it was very fun freshman year because I amassed like a whole, like multiple groups of friends really fast, but it was connected by this main group. It was like a little symmetry inside of itself, where there was like branching off groups of friends from the main group. And I went to a party with the main group. This was the second semester of my freshman year, where it was before St. Patrick's Day. So it was so weird, the synchronicities, guys. The synchronicities were insane. The synchronicities were fucking crazy. Because what happened on this night, so many things. I learned about my Spidey sense. That's why I'm also bringing this up. Because Spidey sense is real. Of course, Spidey sense is everything we're talking about in Hermeticism, when we're talking about your soul in vibrations and being able to, as a space, navigate the astral realm before your mind gets lost in the body. Because it's all happening from the top down before you experience it from the bottom up. So Spider-Man is a spiritual superhero who is in that understanding. And I learned about my Spidey sense this night. So it was weird because in my dormitory, I was preparing to go to this party, right? I'm preparing to meet up with my friends. We're about to go rage. It's about to be fun. It's about to be lit. And I get a knock on my door and I answer it. And it is my RA. And this RA, he's a very awesome person. He's black. He's very dark skinned black. So he was already more conscious of the culture, being an artist like that. He's an older man, being an RA. So he specifically came to me because he was letting me know that there was a racial incident in the dorm. Okay, so this is before I go to the party. He lets me know that there's a racial incident in the dorm. So this incident, he says, was basically that they had, on like a few floors below me, they had a billboard with Black Panther information. It was like all about like Black history, Black Panthers. And he told me that someone tore everything down, wrote white power. literally tore everything down, wrote white power on the billboard, and then left burnt toast in the hallway. And I had to ask, what does burnt toast mean? Well, I had to ask my RA. I don't know if I should say his name. So in general, I asked my RA what burnt toast means, And he told me, oh, you don't know what burnt toast means? Well, bread is what people want to eat. So that's white bread. People want white bread. But when you burn it, that's black people. And no one wants black bread. So that's what you throw away. What? Like, literally, that's a stereotype. That's a whole thing. And then that's what he said a burnt toast meant. And that's the whole symbolism that it was supposed to carry with white power on the billboard. So that was the start to my night. That was the start to this experience. And he just let me know, he's like, oh, hey, I'm just coming around to, all the students and letting them know that if they need help, I'm here, bloody blue. I was cordial. I let him know, hey, I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's insane. That's wild. I hope someone can catch them. Are there cameras? He let me know that they're going to try. They're going to work to catch the person. And I said, all right, hey, this country was built on slavery. This country was built on stealing everything from people of color. So their white power is simply taking our time, energy, and attention. And I wasn't about to let this take more of my time, energy, and attention. So I still went to the party, right? And that's where I let him know that he was like, absolutely, we'll do everything we can, but don't let it get too much to you, because that's how they win. If it gets too hard into you, then they win. That is their power, to rape. Therapy. The rapey. Therapist, put some space into the, and the rapist, oh, the rapist. White people's therapy is projecting their religion into us. And then that's basically what you see in the whole world when we think about the history of white people and how they colonize indigenous lands. Their therapy is literally raping us with their religion, with their idea of one God and everything that needs to be. So now they need us to be slaves, but they also hate us because they're egoically saying that they're the best. So I still went to the party, right? It was on my mind, but I met my friends in the lobby. We got on the train, we mob, we go. Here's the thing. When I get to the party, I'm having a good time, right? It's awesome. I love being there. We're dancing. Everyone's talking about stuff. Talking about Spyder-Man with people as I look back, right? There is a conversation about Spyder-Man with a cool dude. Talk about just like a lot of fun art things. Normal college art kid shit. So we're drinking and dancing in the basement. But after a few hours, I realized I have class this day. So we're partying we're partying Friday night because I had a whole core class from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. So because I had a 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. class on Saturday, I decided that it was time for me to go because it was about 1 a.m. at that point. And I wanted to be able that I could stay up and actually get there on time and be functional. So I started telling the people around me, hey, I'm going to go. I'm leaving now. And everyone was like, what? No, Chase, stay. What do you mean? Why are you going so early? I'm like, early? Bro, I'm about to have to get up in 6 hours and function for the entire day. Nah. And it's going to take time to get home on the train and get back to the dorm. And I'm going to have to wait for the train and walk back. So it's a whole journey to get to the train station. Nah, I can't just wait. See, they didn't have class on Saturday, so they weren't thinking about me like that. So that's where you got to think about yourself, right? Everyone is individual before they join a collective. Just because we all look the same doesn't mean we all have the same priorities. Duh. So they're all like, no, Chase, please stay. I'm like, nah, bruh, I gotta go. So I start leaving. But then another group of people, they pull me. They're like, Chase, where are you going? And I say to them, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I must go. I must depart because I have a class. I have responsibilities. And I see that I have the power to leave. So I must go. And they're telling me, no, Chase, you need to stay. You should stay here. It's all okay. I'm like, what? No, what do you mean? Like, I do not have the time to stay. Right? So then I'm walking and I'm getting to the stairs of the basement. A third group of people just hanging out by the stairs. They turn to me. Oh, hey, what's up? Where are you headed? Oh, I'm about to leave. What? Really? No, why? Why are you on my case? So I was getting weirded out at this point. Third time's a charm, right? I'm kind of wondering why these multiple groups of people are working so hard to make me stay. And I told them that I had to go, that I have class. They're like, oh, but you can stay for a little longer, can't you? You know, it's still popping. I tell them, no, I have responsibilities. I must go. So I walk up the stairs, get to the top of the stairs. Another group of people, just another group of people standing there like, oh, Chase, where are you headed? Well, you're leaving? No, I mean, you can stay here, have another drink. And at this point, I am really wondering what is going on. Why? Like, why? Why are so many seemingly separate groups of people telling me, oh, Chase, where are you going? No, stay. Why? You're leaving so soon? It's not soon. People leave parties all the time. I don't see the big deal. So I get past this group of people, a fifth group of people, before I get to the door. Chase, where are you going? You're leaving? I'm like, yes, I am leaving. I have to go. Like, I'm leaving all my friends because I must attend to my class. I have to go back to my dorm and I have to go to sleep. So I'm walking, get to the door, sixth group of people. Oh, Chase, leaving so soon? Yes, I am. I don't care. I don't care if you're framing it as soon. I am leaving soon. If the as soon is right now, we're going. So I finally get out the house, right? I step out, I turn, I go, okay, let's walk. Put in my headphones, start listening to Childish Gambino. That Childish Gambino was slapping through college. So first it was LES. I'm walking and I'm listening to other songs. And as I'm walking, I get to a sidewalk. So I walk for a solid 10 minutes out of the residential neighborhood. I get into more of a public highway area. And there's whole apartment buildings on this side. And it's basically a strip mall. It's basically a strip mall of department buildings, like, you know, Target, all that stuff. And then to the left of me is 4 lanes of highway. So I have to walk for maybe like 10 minutes down this small sidewalk, right? And as I'm walking, at this point, I'm listening to Bonfire. So Bonfire has a different meaning now. I've transformed it now. Now it's just the hardest workout. The hardest workout song. I mean, there are other workout songs, but I've transmuted the song. But it became a negative song after this experience for a while until I reclaimed it because I didn't want the song to be ruined. As I'm walking down this sidewalk, I see that there are 3 dudes, and they're all like really tall. And when I say, I mean, they're like a few inches taller than me, like 2 to 3 inches taller than me, all of them. And they're basically about frat type fraternity guys, right? They're roughhousing with each other on this small ass sidewalk. They have their Mardi Gras beads. It's in their green because it was St. Patrick's Day. So they had their St. Patrick's Day green stuff with the green Mardi Gras, the green beads, whatever, their green attire. And they're like roughhousing. So they're just playing around on this small ass sidewalk. And I'm not thinking anything of it initially because it's just people playing around. Cool. So we're just walking. And it's a small sidewalk. Whatever. Who cares? I'm just going to the train station. And as we're walking, they see me. And this is where they start to stiffen up and they compose themselves a little bit. So I go, oh, okay, cool. They're about to give me more space on the sidewalk to walk. That's fantastic. And as we're getting closer, they sort of amass together. And I'm just keeping my attention on getting past them, going down the sidewalk. But as I'm walking, we cross, right? They're right on the left of me. And I hear through my headphones, look at this light-skinned Drake-ass nigger. And I'm grabbed by my shirt and shoved against the wall. So I hit my head really, really hard. This dude, he grabs me and he gets me up against the wall. I hit my head. Crack. Headache. Immediate headache. Like, immediate headache, immediate eye sore. I'm like fuzzy eye sore. And he's just screaming. He is screaming and spitting in my face. You fucking niggers come over into our country and you steal our white women. You steal our jobs. You steal everything from us. You fucking niggers steal everything from us. And and his friends were there, like just like cheering him on. And he's screaming at me about how black people, niggers, rape white people. When I teach that projection is perception, I didn't see the layers of how deep it went back then. As I'm telling this story now, projection is perception. As we see historically with how America is created, he is screaming at me about how niggers are raping white people and how they need to kill niggers. Because after he's screaming at me and I'm getting my bearings again, his friend is on my right, on his left. His friend goes, hey, bro, we should kill this nigger. So things became real, right? That's really real. It was one thing for me to be held up against the wall, being screamed at, smelling his alcohol breath, having spit fly on my face as he's screaming all of his white projected Judeo-Christian insecurities at me. His friend goes, hey, bro, we should kill this nigger. And my heart drops. My adrenaline spikes. And he goes, yeah, we should. And his other friend is like, yeah. And, and they pulled out knives. They pulled out huge knives, like switchblade knives, just like straight, like palm of my hand type. And they're holding it. And the dude who's holding me up against the wall, he goes, oh, you're going to die tonight, nigger. We're going to kill you. Fight or flight. Right? Fight or flight. So, with no other option, with a headache, and just now, like, vision kind of starting to come back, I bring my head back as hard as I can and just, blah! Just fucking, blah! Shit was crazy. Shit, like, I just headbutted him as hard as I could, and he fell backwards, and I slid down. I landed on the ground, because my feet were off the ground, mind you. These people were tall, and they're like football frat guys. So my feet were off the ground, and I landed back on the ground, which surprised me. And I'm surprised at this whole situation. And I see him falling back. And then the dude on my right, on his left, takes a knife and fucking stabs it at me. Just straight up stabs at me. And when he stabs at me, I'm telling you, literally that close. Like, He took this knife. He took this knife, literally stabbed at me this close. I heard that shit hit the brick wall behind me, saw it, and I took my hand, palmed the side of his head. Shit was gnarly. Like, I was just going full force. Full force. I had to, of course, fight or flight. And I had no room to run. I had no room to run. I couldn't run because he had me up on the wall. So it was fight or die. I palmed this dude's head and just as hard as I could at the time into the brick wall. And I like heard that crunch. He let out like a, oh, and fell and just dropped. Cool. The dude that I just headbutted, he's reeling back from the headbutt. And he tackles me. And he's trying to get me on the ground. And the other friend has a knife trying to get at me. But because this dude has tackled me, I'm sort of keeping him at bay with the dude. So now the friend can't get me because I'm using this dude and I'm holding my ground by, lowering the shit and just like bracing against him because he's trying to get me on the ground. If I go to the ground with these men, my life is over. So there is a plexiglass bus station. I pick this dude up and just throw him as hard as I can into the plexiglass bus station. He hits the shit. He falls. He's done. Cool. Last dude with the knife just starts going crazy, wailing on me, just going nuts, like trying to carve the fuck out of me, right? And I'm over here. Here's what's awesome. I wasn't drinking. This was before I really started drinking. I didn't drink or do any drugs in high school. I was all about exercising and hanging out with my dog. So, so at this time, I hadn't gotten into the culture of drinking yet. So, that almost certainly helped me not being drunk maybe. But also drunken fist is a thing, and adrenaline is very much a thing. So this dude is swinging and I'm dodging everything. And I'm just looking for an opening. And I found it. And when I found it, I lift my left leg up and I kick his left leg down because he's taller than me. So if I wanted to get a clean shot, I had to do a coordinated thing. So I lift my left leg up, kick his knee in and down so that he falls. And when he fell into that kneeled position, I used the momentum of me kicking with my left leg to take my left elbow and just get him as hard as I just. And it was brutal. I've never inflicted so much pain on someone before, and I hope I never have to again. I truly hope that my spirit and just my family and everyone I'm working with puts me in a position where I never have to inflict this much pain on someone again. Shit was crazy. I mean, no one's saying he didn't deserve it, of course, right? But I don't want to have to be an instrument for that pain. Now, if I have the power to, just because I have the power to, I don't want to have to do that. I go to war on war. I'm not about violence like that. I get that violence is necessary to separate from others, right? They wanted to kill me, so I had to separate from them with violence, with my Violet, my 7. But it's not something that I ever want, right? So when I say that this dude's nose collided with my elbow and crushed in, I really mean it crushed in. Like the bridge of his nose, I felt the shit. It was gnarly. Blood spurt. And he screamed. He wailed. He screamed like, ah! Like it was like high and echoed through the fucking neighborhood. It terrified me. Following through with that elbow, he fell back. I saw the blood fly. I'm like, bro, no way. And immediately, the moment his head hit the ground, my ass is like, for until I get to the train station, it felt kind of long, but also not. I mean, it would have been a much longer walk, but I sprinted that shit. So once my sprinting ass got to the train station, I scan in, I get to the platform, and I have to wait for 20 minutes. 20 of the longest minutes of my life to this date. Even when I've done psychedelics and, you know, those times are long, I'm talking about the actual, like, being in physical reality, not on any other psychedelic stuff. Stuck in physical reality, in fear, in scarcity, and feeling like someone could come down and get me. So I was standing behind a pillar, and then I texted my friends. I texted the people that were at the party, but not everybody, just the few close people, so that they could know, because I didn't want to ruin anyone's time. It's not like it was going to change anything, me telling them. And I texted the girl I just so happened to be living with right now, because we were hanging out in Chicago at the time. So that's synchronistic. Shout out her. Shout out having awesome friends that supported me throughout that time, because I had a lot of supportive people throughout this time. It was fucked up. And again, you can go see the art that came out of it. Right there, it's the whole performance piece of me doing the cage match. And when you look in the crowd, like, a lot of the people in that crowd were people that I hung out with, and a good amount of the people in there were supportive of me on a more personal level. So shout out all of them. Because when I texted people, you know, they were like, what? Okay, dang, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm at the train station. The train finally came. I hopped on. My head is hurting so much just racing, but I'm on the train. I'm safe. No one came down. No one slit my throat. No one fucked me over. No one sold me into some Masonic slavery system. No one got to kill a black guy and make money off of it. I get to be Chase for another day. So I get back to the dorm and everything's closed. So I just go to sleep. I straight up go to sleep. I don't even think I showered. Yeah, that's hilarious. I straight up went to sleep. I showered in the morning. I woke up and I was like, oh no. But after that, nah, I didn't even shower. Um, and I went to the office. So I went to the office and I reported it to the school. And so then when I was talking to the security officer, and they had me pull it up and show them the location of where I was, you know, off the blue line, whatever, going somewhere, coming from some whatever. I had to show them. It was like Forest Park. It was somewhere around there, whatever. It was off the blue line in Chicago, um, in some very white neighborhood. And for people who live in Chicago, well, people who live in Chicago know how crazy Chicago gets about St. Patrick's Day. So if you don't live in Chicago, then talk to someone from Chicago about how crazy St. Patrick's Day gets, and you'll probably hear some wild stories. This is mine. So the guy that I'm talking to, the security guard, he's asking me if I want to go to the police and if I want to try and start pressing charges. And I says to him, I says, hey, do you think that would end well for me? Does Would that be smart on my end to beat up three white dudes and get away with my life just to come back and let them know who I am? No way. And especially in my head, I'm like, their fathers are very well policemen for them to think that they could get away with that. So what the fuck? How the fuck would I put myself in the position of trying to go identify the white men who beat me up or tried to kill me when I'm the one who beat them up, and now I'm the one who looks like the bad guy? Just like this clinic thing, except with the clinic, they just straight up lied. I mean, now I'm killed from the clinic. So this is what white people do. This is how they make money. This is their business practice, and this is the whole history of America. Those kids, those dudes who attacked me, for them to feel empowered to do that, they almost certainly have fathers who are in the police force. So, no, I did not go to the police. I instead made art out of it. I instead alchemized my trauma into other avenues, and it has informed my life now. So, if you would like to see the art that I have alchemized out of this story that I just shared with you, then definitely check out the performance piece that I have up with Marcella. It's all about Black people and Latinx people. So I'm identified as a Black man. She's a Latinx woman. And then it's about us fighting each other, but also working together, and the relationship of competition and collaboration, but then how white people set this up and how white people set up circumstances to make all of us as people of color fight each other, because that's how their matrix, their Masonic New World Order matrix, makes money off of genocide. So until next time, peace out.